Our game is called BPM, which stands for beats per minute.
This group of students wanted to create a game where players could learn about how nutrition affects their health.
So it's different patients with different problems, but they all have to do with the circulatory system. You have nutrients, and you have to get nutrients for the blood.
They came up with an idea that would require players to make quick yet healthy decisions. During research, they discovered millions of Americans make snap decisions about what they eat without giving much thought to its nutritional content or calorie ratio.
And then there's like the food falling from the sky, and you have to get the correct, food kind of thing, or nutrient, like burgers and then lettuce or something, so it gives it more of a sense of actual food, not just nutrients.
A common beginner mistake is to say that, well, the paper prototype has to be the whole game, and it really doesn't.
To further understand how the game would work, they built a prototype. Prototyping is a tool used to think about and refine a game concept.
You're not designing the game all at once and then playing it and you're done. You're designing it a little bit, playing what you have, even if it's not a finished game, and saying, based on how it feels, this is the next feature I think we should add, or we should make this change. And think about things like, is there any chance involved? You will have dice, you can decide whether you want to use them or not. How long does the game last? Do you want it to be 30 seconds and you play it over and over and over again? Do you want it to be 10 minutes? There's often a trade-off between how easy a game is to learn and how much strategic depth it has. So there's no right or wrong answer there. You can have something that's very simple, not a lot of depth, and it still is an interesting game. Or you can make games that require learning a lot of rules. The Holy Grail sort of is the game that's easy to learn, hard to master, so aim for that, but don't feel badly if you don't reach it right away. Questions like, how many states are there? Am I it? Am I fleeing? Am I in some sort of timeout period? So those are 3 states. You could have 5 states or 6 states. Are there teams? So is it every man for themselves, or is it more like a capture the flag situation where there's assigned teams that don't change? Obstacles, so is it just a field, or do people have to go around different things? Do you want to integrate timers into the experience? Something like the person who's it maybe is only it for 10 seconds. That's like the Pac-Man approach. In general, you're fleeing, but every once in a while you get a power-up, and now you can chase people. Is it real-time or turn-based? And this is really key, because turn-based is often easier to do on paper, but you have to have a clear vision of whether you want the final game, let's say it's a computer game, to be turn-based or real-time. If you want it to be real-time, then you're going to have to keep that in mind as you're playing turn-based. Maybe it's real-time, so that's the sort of thing you can do just with a table and say, like, well, your piece only moves this fast, so everybody sort of self-regulate and don't move your piece more than this fast. And so if you see someone going, then you just say no.
With a prototype, you can create something quickly and refine it before a programmer ever writes a line of computer code.
So this is a paper prototype. It doesn't have a lot of paper, but it has little pieces, and it doesn't have to be paper. The point is that it's not something that you have to program. So I don't know what these pieces represent, and maybe that's part of the design activity, is to figure out what they represent.
This is one of the mini levels.
This team created a prototype to answer the question, can a game where students use quick thinking and fast reflexes reprogram the way they think about food?
The funnel represents the top of the screen because this is a computer game, and there's going to be bad food and good food put into the funnel, and the bad food that comes out, you have to swipe away using that. Yeah, you use the paddle and you just go choo, and it flies away. Then the good food, what you do is you let it into the net.
The more bad stuff that falls into your net, your arteries are going to get clogged up.
After 10, then you lose.
There will be a myocardial infarction for sure if they choose the wrong food.
So I certainly think that it will change the way the patient or the game player will think about what they're eating.
Put yourself in the player's minds. What are they thinking about? What are you thinking about? It could be, you know, run faster, am I going to get away? Or it could be like, where are my teammates? Who should I pass something to? Because that's really what the game is the question that you're mulling.